The cryptocurrency landscape is once again rife with speculation as Bitcoin traverses its current fourth halving cycle. Amidst varied predictions, renowned crypto analyst CryptoCon's insights, grounded in the Gann Square methodology, the November 28th halving cycles theory, and the 5.3 diminishing returns theory have garnered significant attention. CryptoCon remarked via X, formerly Twitter, "Today, the Gann Square predicts either $89,000 or $135,000 for the Bitcoin top this cycle." He emphasized the accuracy of the Gann Square theory during previous cycles, pointing out its precision in predicting the cycle tops. Will Bitcoin price reach $135,000? According to the Analyst, by leveraging the blue 2x1 fan as the fair value line and drawing the end at November 28th, having cycles theory, the Gann Square successfully pinpointed the tops of cycles 1 and 3 at the fourth level. However, the second cycle diverged, settling slightly above the fifth level. This sets the stage for two potential outcomes in the ongoing fourth cycle, with the $135,000 prediction aligning with both CryptoCon's November 28th price model and his trend pattern price model. Conversely, the $89,000 figure is aligning with the 5.3 diminishing returns theory. Historical data further adds depth to this analysis. Bitcoin's inaugural cycle, spanning 2010 to 2014, saw it catapult from a minuscule value to a peak of $1,177. The subsequent 2015 to 2018 cycle commenced at $250, witnessing an unprecedented climb to $20,000 by its close. The journey from 2018 to 2022 manifested Bitcoin's resilience as it surged from sub $6,000 levels to a commendable $68,800. Delving into the intricacies of the Gann Square's fan lines offers more clarity. The 2x1 fan line, represented in blue, plots a trend angle where the price progression is double that of time. Traditionally, when the Bitcoin price is close to this line, it indicates a fair value. In its 13-year history, Bitcoin has only extremely rarely fallen below the line, most recently in late 2022 following the collapse of FTX, then the second largest crypto exchange, and during the COVID crash in March 2020. The 1x1 fan line, depicted in green, portrays a market in equilibrium with prices increasing in tandem with time. Historically, Bitcoin's price peaked near this line during the parabolic run-up in the second and third cycles, providing the theoretical basis for the $135,000 prediction. The diminishing returns theory, only sub $90,000. In a subsequent post, CryptoCon further explained the $89,600 target. He stated that $90K is slightly above the 5.3 diminishing returns theory. According to the theory, Bitcoin's returns diminish by a factor of 5.3x from the bottom to the top of each cycle, suggesting the next cycle's peak might be around $77,000. CryptoCon remarked, after measuring returns from cycle bottoms to tops on the daily time frame as precisely as possible, the returns from cycle tops to bottoms are not 5.3. They are as follows: 5.34x, 4.96x, and 5.63x. Diving deeper, CryptoCon pointed out, there is merit to the 5.3, as the average of these numbers is 5.31. However, we cannot say for sure that this will be the returns if this is just an average. Highlighting the potential peaks based on past cycles, he commented on the more grounded numbers. The real numbers so far range from the lowest cycle top of $73,522 to the highest at $81,675 with an average cycle top of $77,122. Discussing the possibilities of Bitcoin hitting a much-anticipated $100,000 mark, CryptoCon explained, $100,000 would mean a 3.84x diminish, implying Bitcoin would need to exhibit a drastically lower diminishing return rate this cycle. Drawing attention to Bitcoin's historical relationship with Fibonacci extensions, he stated, Bitcoin has consistently hit a Fibonacci extension level at each cycle top. If $77,000 is the anticipated target, this would be a deviation. The cycles have previously matched Fibonacci extensions of 58.764, 19.764, and 3.618. For this cycle, the lowest Fibonacci extension measured from weekly candle bodies is the 1.618, suggesting a price of $104,000, which corresponds to a 3.7x diminish from the last cycle. CryptoCon concluded by inviting speculations on whether external factors, such as the approval of spot Bitcoin ETFs, could provide the necessary momentum to shift these models. Many believe that ETFs will have the strength to disrupt these models and predictions. Returns are evidently diminishing, but is the 5.31x, $77,122, average return going to be the cycle's peak? At press time, BTC traded at $26,906. Bitcoin is going to $70,000, according to an acclaimed cryptocurrency trader, Mags. Mags drew his conclusion from an inverted head and shoulders pattern on the Bitcoin chart. According to Mags, Bitcoin's price is currently at the neckline of the established pattern. Bitcoin is going to $70,000, according to an acclaimed cryptocurrency trader and technical analyst identified as Mags on X, formerly Twitter. Mags drew his conclusion using an inverted Bitcoin chart to analyze an established head and shoulders pattern. According to Mags, Bitcoin's price is currently at the neckline of the established pattern. Mag's prediction comes amid a complicated period for Bitcoin when the flagship cryptocurrency dropped below significant support at $27,000. Bitcoin broke below $27,000 for the first time in October 2 days ago, following 3 previous bearish candles on the daily chart. The current Bitcoin price condition has injected some skepticism among several users, leaving them in doubt over the pioneer crypto's ability to achieve new heights soon. One such user, identified as Sergey Stolyarev on X, watered down Mag's analysis, considering it a pattern of minimal significance. According to Stolyarev, the current Bitcoin chart pattern is not a head and shoulders just by construction, let alone structural reasons. He said such shapes can be drawn on any part of the Bitcoin chart and at any time. Risham Singh, another Bitcoin user on X, appreciated Mag's analysis, considering it impressive. Singh appeared to agree with Mag's projection, noting that it would represent a significant milestone for Bitcoin if it plays out. Bitcoin's price has exhibited a roller coaster behavior in 2023. It began the year by surging above $20,000 and rallying nearly 90% in less than 4 months. The upward movement halted following several macroeconomic and regulatory challenges despite general anticipation of a bull run ahead of an upcoming halving event. Bitcoin traded for $26,816 at the time of writing, representing an overall gain of 64% in 2023. However, most users believe there is more upside potential for the pioneer cryptocurrency, considering it is still some distance away from its all-time high and the potential impact of the upcoming Bitcoin halving in 2024. Cathie Wood's ARK Invest has made significant updates to its spot Bitcoin ETF prospectus through a filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission. The asset management firm addressed earlier concerns highlighted by the SEC, which could be seen as a good sign of impending approval. ARK Invest revises its spot Bitcoin ETF proposal. ARK Invest updated its spot Bitcoin ETF filing through an amendment submitted to the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, on Wednesday. The amendment adds new information regarding its strategy to determine asset values and how it plans to provide custody of the fund's underlying assets. While most in the crypto community are already anxious about the over a dozen spot ETF filings and the current review process by the SEC, the revisions to the ARK Invest submission could impact its success positively. As noted by Bloomberg senior ETF analyst Eric Balchunas, the modifications are sprinkled throughout the application, adding 5 more pages to the original proposal. The analyst is of the opinion that ARK Invest, which has been seeking ETF approval since 2021, has made the changes in response to major concerns the SEC has asked spot ETF applicants to address in previous comments regarding the investment vehicle. So what does this mean? It means ARK got the SEC's comments and has dealt with them all, and now put the ball back in SEC's court. Good sign, solid progress, Balchunas said. The new application further adds environmental concerns and the possible effects of illegal transactions, which have the potential to adversely affect the Bitcoin industry in an investment in the trust. SEC approval likely soon? Many industry pundits reckon that a spot Bitcoin ETF approval will trigger an influx of institutional capital into BTC, which could propel the price of the premier cryptocurrency to new highs. As such, ETF issuers are racing to have the first green light, expecting to capture most of the market share. Alistair Milne, Chief Investment Officer at Altena Digital Currency Fund, pointed out the contrast between the regulatory improvements and the ongoing market condition. ARK updates its ETF filing with minor edits and details, certainly following feedback from the SEC as it properly engages for the first time. The US Bitcoin ETFs are coming and BTC is below $30,000. Unreal. Grayscale Investments, another firm that's currently suing the SEC to get its spot filing approved, said in July that the regulator should greenlight several ETF applications simultaneously to avoid picking winners and losers. Bitcoin Chgust ranged around the key $26,800 mark for a second day on October 13 with a decision due in United States regulators' battle with crypto investment giant Grayscale. Data from Cointelegraph Markets Pro and TradingView confirmed that the BTC price barely changed from the day prior, acting in a narrow corridor. Bitcoin market analysts weighed potential catalysts, among these the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, choosing whether or not to appeal a court ruling over its refusal to allow a Bitcoin spot exchange-traded fund, ETF. Today is an important day with the SEC appeal on the Grayscale ruling, Michael Van de Poppy, founder and CEO of MN Trading, wrote in part of an X, formerly Twitter, post. If nothing happens, we might be seeing a case where Bitcoin reverses upwards in the coming weeks. I'm positioned long. Macro data prints were due to take a break following a series of releases throughout the week, which all showed inflation more persistent than market expectations had predicted. Summarizing possible BTC price trajectory from here, popular trader and analyst Credible Crypto saw cause for modest optimism. We have a very clear and seemingly controlled stair-step down on price here. Clear low time frame breakdowns, retests, and continuation, he explained alongside a chart. We are leaving behind equal lows right below us, so ideally I'd like to see these cleaned up before a reversal. Considering we have bids stacked above and below us, a push to the local highs into asks followed by a rejection and sweep of our lows into the waiting bids and local demand seems like the perfect way to form a reversal here. Let's see how things develop. Fellow trader Don Crypto Trades noted. Tkazt. Moving within a zone between two liquidity clouds, with the reaction more likely should the spot price reach either one. Trader and Analyst Rect Capital meanwhile placed a target of $25,000 on Bitcoin should bulls fail to reclaim exponential moving averages, EMAs, lost through the week. Ahead of the appeal deadline, Grayscale's flagship investment fund, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, GBTC, continued to outperform. The focus of the legal proceedings, GBTC will end up as a spot ETF, Grayscale has said, with an early victory for the firm seeing its fortunes turn around through Q2. This article does not contain investment advice or recommendations. Every investment and trading move involves risk, and readers should conduct their own research when making a decision. The discount, technically a negative premium, reached minus 16.44% before dipping slightly lower, per data from monitoring resource CoinGlass.